Hello, guys. Welcome back to SWS Boxing. Delighted to be joined with Dan Garber. He's 5-2 with one win by knockout, and he's back out in Bradford on the 3rd of February in the Cedar Court Hotel in Bradford, and he's boxing Joe Nakavulevu over 4 rounds. And yes, pleasure getting you back on.
Cheers, Sam.
And my first question is, just talk about the Carty fight, and talk about, before we get into the actual fight, talk about the whole fight week.
Well, fight week was something else, to be honest with you. It was. I think we went over on the Wednesday morning. So myself and my trainer, Andy Lowry, we went over and we were picked up along with Reese Mould and Josh Warrington, because Reese was boxing on the undercard as well against what's his Cully. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So we got we all got picked up at the airport. We made us way to the hotels. Got checked in. Basically, then we got told what were going to be happening that week regards to like the press conferences, the weigh-ins, etc., all the media stuff that we had to do, things like that. So as first day when we got there, it was just really, we were just bedding in. We had a walk around Dublin, basically, just getting used to it. Went and had a little look at the venue because we were only about 10 minutes away from that. And then on the Wednesday, it was a press conference, which were live, obviously, on TV. So we went to the venue for the press conferences, and I had to do a media shoot, to get the photos taken in all your fight gear, etc., for the ring entrances and stuff, for when you're going out on the screens and everything, which were, they made you, to be honest with you, they made you feel while you were over there, like they treated you really, really well, to be fair. They were like, they treat you like a celebrity. They made you feel like that when you were there, basically. Everything was done for you. So we got to the venue for the press conference. We met, obviously, Eddie Earn, had a chat with Steve Bunce, Darren Barker, people like that. And then after we'd done the media shoot, we went in and we were on the top table then with Eddie Earn. I think he was just sat 2 places next to me, kind of thing. Obviously, the first time I'd got to see Tom Carty in person as well. So we were both on the top table. Obviously, Eddie asked me a few questions, then on to Tom, and then we had his face-off.
Talk about that face-off, because it got a little bit heated.
Well, yeah, obviously, the building Tom Carty, to be Ireland's first heavyweight world champion, and he's got all the backing over there. He's the hometown fighter from Dublin, etc. So yeah, it was. Don't get me wrong, he's a confident guy. He likes to talk. He likes to sell a fight, obviously, which you need to do now in boxing, kind of thing. But I like to give as good as back or what I get, really. But we were both respectful to each other. It got a little bit thinking. You were saying you were going to do this, I was saying I was going to do that, etc., like you do. So yeah, it was good. It was a good bit of back and forth, and I think it just put a bit of interest into the fight itself, as well as the show, obviously. And then, obviously, the weigh-in the next day, that's when he started to say, you're going to get knocked out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, basically. And I think I just said to him at the time, talk's cheap, really, because I think everybody expected me to get knocked out, basically, in 1 or 2 rounds. They saw me, basically, just saw I'd been fighting, 4-round level. I saw that I'd had a loss on my record, 10 years older than him, basically. I think I took the fight on, 5-6 week notice. 8 rounds is a long time, but my plan was basically, me and my trainer, Andy, when we spoke about it, and we knew what we were up against. I'd been watching Tom's fights and I'd seen that bit were basically being flattening everybody, and as my trainer says, he's what he's called a sniper. If you stand there in front of him, he'll take you to pieces, basically. He's a basic fighter, but he's good at what he does. He's got a good jab and he's got a good left hand, with him being a southpaw. And I think, obviously, my strengths and what we had to work on in that 6 week time period, basically, was going to be movement and slipping and sliding, making him miss, and trying to get him into them later rounds, which we did. And
The first round, I would say not many punches were thrown. So that opening round, I gave 10-10 because not much was going on in that first round, would you say?
No, like I said, we're more fit. I knew because we're both southpaws, and I was shocked that they'd make a fight basically with, myself being a rangy southpaw who likes to move, and they wouldn't have got much footage on me, to be honest with you. And two southpaws against each other, it's a clash of it's an awkward matchup because you very rarely get two southpaws boxing against each other. That's the thing. And when I got to the venue, I got taped up, etc. We went through what the plan was basically. I remember walking out. I had my music playing.
The camera's all in front of you, and
yeah, that's right. I mean, I remember saying Ed Sheeran were there. I think his dressing room were next to our dressing room, basically. So
isn't he in Taylor's dressing room normally?
He was walking around all dressing rooms, basically chatting to everyone. And I think it just joined the fights when me and Tombo actually. When we were getting it ring, that's when he took his seat next to Eddie Earn. I think he'd put some at fight on his Instagram page as well. But I remember walking out, and the arena were packed. It were packed out when I was walking out, and I remember them all booing me at the start. Obviously, being from England, fighting over in Ireland, etc. But it was something else, to be honest with you. It's like I said, it's the kind of memories that you're gonna take away forever. Fighting on a stage like that, it was massive. It's like I says, made my debut in a leisure centre in front of something like 300 people. In Halifax. Yeah. And when I was talking to you before, I was telling you I had quite a long break from boxing, and I only came back over a year ago. And I wouldn't say it was unfinished business, but I just had to get I had to get it out of my system, basically. I just thought, I don't want to look back and have no regrets with it, really. So the plan was just to have a few more fights and see what happened. And obviously that came out at blue, so I was never going to say no to it. 8 rounds is a long time, especially in an arena like that when them lights are on you. It's hot, you've got the nerves, you've got the cameras on you, etc. And yeah, it's like I say, I was on my toes, and I was making him miss. I was slipping, like we said.
I mean, like you were slipping some of like his shots and smothering his work, but when you slipped the shot, you couldn't really.
No, I couldn't let the
counter.
That was the issue. I remember getting him. He threw a big left-handing corner. I remember I slipped it and turned out, and I didn't capitalize on it. And it's easier said than done. It's like I say, it's a clash of styles. And I think it was him. I got to the 4th round with him, and he caught. I stood square on, and he caught me with a left hand straight on. It was just below my sternum, and to be honest with you, I ended up my bottom rib, and I cracked a rib, and I knew straight away, he'd done some damage there, and I was struggling then. To be honest with you, I went back to my head. To be honest with you, it was in my head to take a knee at the time. It really did take it out of me, but I didn't. I didn't want to show him basically.
Surprised you were still standing.
You what? Sorry.
I was surprised when he hit you with that shot. I thought you was going down, but you done well to stay up there.
No, honestly, I'd never. It was really heavy-handed. I mean, I was giving a lot of weight away on the night. I think there was something like 37 pound in weight between us on the night. And I remember going back to my corner after that 4th round, and I said to my trainer Andy, I said, it was right at the end. I said, he's hurt me there. I said, I've done something to my ribs, and I was struggling to breathe. And Andy just said, just keep keep trying to work. I'll try to work the jab. Thing is, me and him. He's a counter puncher like myself, so I'm wanting him to come to me. And I remember in the fight him saying to me, "Come on, come to me." And I remember, and I was saying the same. I win basically because it was a clash of styles. I wanted him to come to me, kind of thing, and he wanted me to come to him. And like I say, we were both getting tired, and we got to that 8th round, and Emery caught me with that flurry on the rope. I think there were about 39 seconds to go, and I went down, and it's the first time I've ever been down in my life, to be honest with you, amateur or pro.
How tough was it to get back up, and what was going through your mind when you got put down?
To be honest with you, I was getting tired, and when I went, I spoke to it. Me and my trainer spoke about it before. So I knew there were going to be times in a fight against somebody like him that he was going to catch me in it. Do you know what I mean? I probably was going to be under some kind of pressure, and I knew there might be a time in fight where I did get put down, but I don't think anybody had taken him past 4 rounds. You see, and obviously he'd been used to blasting everybody out, and I wanted to see basically if we could drag him into them later rounds, what it'd be like. But obviously, it was the same for me. You know, I'd never been past 4, and I was training for a 4-rounder before that fight got announced, and it is a big, big step up going to 8 rounds under that kind of.
I think
Well,
you were meant to fight this guy you're fighting this time
that's
round.
right. Yeah, you're correct there. Yeah, I was supposed to be fighting him the week before, so we're training for a 4-rounder, and then obviously that got thrown at us. So
I mean, you were never going to say no. And anyway, everyone, wrote you off, like said you were going to get knocked out in 2 rounds, but you held your own in there, and yeah.
Yeah, but like when I got put down, I remember I got to my knees and I looked to my corner, I looked at Andy, and I remember the referee counting, but I wasn't really listening to the ref or watching Andy me train, to be honest with you. Obviously he was shouting through the fight, etc., instructions, and I was watching him, and I remember when he had the count basically there, and I looked at him and he told me when to get up, and I think I got up on count of 8, and the referee said to me, "Are you okay?" And I put my hands up and said, "I'm ready," and I tapped my gloves together, and he waved me off, and personally I knew I could have continued, and I said to him, I says, "You should have let me continue." And I said, "Why did you stop that?" I was ready to continue. There were 30 seconds left in the last round to go, and I'm not taking it away from him. He'd have still won the fight, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I think I deserved to finish the fight, the final bell, to be honest with you. Like I said, there were 30 seconds to go, and I could have seen it out. Even my trainer had a word with referee about it because he wasn't happy about getting stopped, and it goes down then as a TKO loss on your record, basically.
Unfortunately. Did that hurt your pride a bit? Like
it did, yeah. I mean, there were. I mean, when I got out of the ring, there was basically the cameras were on us, and they did some fight highlights behind the scene footage, and they put it on the internet and on the Zone's TV program, and I burst into tears when I got out of the ring. I got out of the ring, and my dad were like, "He were where all, section where the families are all sat, basically."
yeah.
He called me over and gave me an hug, and I just burst into tears, and my dad were upset as well, kind of thing. And then when I got to the changing room as well, I was gutted, honestly, and towel over my head and my trainers consoling me, cameras then come into the dressing room, do you know what I mean? And they're filming you and things like that. But I think it was just so much to take in, when you were over there. I trained so hard for that fight, like stopped work and everything, and I was training twice a day, and I put everything into that. I'd never trained like I had, and everything had to get stepped up basically in regards to, and it was hard to get sparring. I mean, where do you find southpaw sparring for a guy who's 18.5 stone and 6'3" or whatever he is? Do you know what I mean? It's very hard. It's very hard to find, and so you got to make do with what you've got basically. So even the sparring that we did, we were stepping up straight away to doing. I think we did like 5 spars. I think we did like 4 8-round spars. Well, we started with a 6 just to get into it, like you do, and then we stepped it straight up. We were going like twice a week. We were doing 8-rounders, and then as last spar, I think we either did 9 or 10 rounds just to make sure we did have it in the tank, basically. And like I say, it was hard, and in regards to my weight, what I weighed in it as well, I'd come in light, but a lot leaner than what I'd ever been, because I've got a dietitian, and we monitor my body fat every week, and he sorts my diet out, etc. And there was some emphasis on the wanting me to come in heavier, but then I had to think as well, when you're not used to carrying that weight around in the ring, basically, it's a long time and you're going to get tired. So I think because we were the training that we were doing, and it was twice a day, basically, I knew my weight, it was starting to come off me, but I were a lot leaner than I'd ever been, and I was probably fitter than I'd ever been as well. So like I said, I've no regrets really about it or anything. I did everything, the best I could, to be honest with you, and hopefully after this fight now,
Mm.
I get another chance as an away opponent again
Well,
on
we'll
another big
we'll get
show.
on to that once we've spoke about your upcoming fight. Of course, you've got, as you said, you're going back down to 4 rounds, back in your hometown, and you're boxing Joe Nakavulevu, who's 1-6 with one draw. What do you know about him?
Well, because I was supposed to fight him before, and I don't really look at anybody's records. There's an old saying, records are for DJs,
Mm.
basically. Do you know, you can't look at anybody's record, especially when you're fighting as a heavyweight, because it only takes one punch. It don't matter who you are.
Yeah.
And also, you've got to look at the guys he's been in with. I think he's just been in with Michael Webster, who's ranked something like number 10 in the UK.
And in my opinion, I thought he beat Dakers.
Yeah, that were a very close fight, to be honest with you. Solomon Dakers, yeah, it could have gone either well. With that point deduction as well in the last round, I thought they were going to give it to Webster. So, like I say, Joe is. I seen his fight. He boxed a kid in Scotland in a 6 rounder not long ago, and he lost by a point. But really, I've seen the fight, and he should have got the decision. Really, he won the fight.
Who was that against?
Kaleem Salim, he's called.
Oh yeah, he challenged for the Scottish
He
title.
did against Jay McFarland, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they fought over 6. It went 6 round distance, and I think he beat him 58-57. And even Boxing News in right up all had Joe winning the fight basically.
He's a good little fighter, isn't he?
He is, yeah. He's not one of them who comes out banging. But if you, he knows what he's doing. You know, he's got good head movement. You know, he can slip, he can slide, he can roll the punches. He'll work with you. He's what I call a good, solid journeyman type of fighter, basically. You know, he knows his way around the ring. He knows all tricks and stuff like that, and he knows how to get through the fights.
Yeah.
So, to be honest with you, though, it's a quick turnaround. Is this as well from my last fight as well? Obviously,
Especially some fighters, once they fought like the back end of last year, they tend to some fighters wait until April to get back in the ring, May, but you straight back in it to it.
I said to my manager straight away after the fight, and I said, right, when can you get me back out? And he said, just have a break, have a little chill over Christmas, you know. And it's like I say, it had just basically been boxing for. I hadn't been out of the gym for 6 months because we'd had that many fights fall through. We'd been training for fight after fight after fight, and they were just all getting cancelled or falling through for whatever reason. Shows just getting cancelled because people weren't selling enough tickets, etc., and things like that. So obviously, we got offered this one by Darren Bailey, who's I fought on a couple of his shows, and straight away said, "Yeah, right, let's box on that." I know Glenn, my manager's. I mean, I won't say too much on it now, but he's already spoke about me. There's another TV fight possibly there for me after this again. Obviously, because I've been 8 rounds with Tom.
Now people want to. Now, like upcoming fighters want to try and like
better that exactly. Yeah. Can you know? Like the thing is, well, Dan's just been 8 rounds with Tom. Can your lad do any better? Well, yeah, let's get him in and let's see what we can do. So it has done me confidence good, you know, even though I didn't win. And I did get a lot of messages off people, you know, giving me a lot of good feedback. Don't get me wrong, I got some messages off random guys who I don't know, giving me a lot of abuse as well, basically. Do you know what I mean?
How hard was that, like, to, you know, take that abuse off some people?
Well, do you know what I mean? I mean, what, you know, the abuse, what are them guys doing with their lives? Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, would they, you know, basically be working or do whatever? You know, it's hard when you've got a family yourself and you're training twice a day. The sacrifices you make, people don't understand that. Do you know, you get
plus the positive messages always outweigh the negativity.
Well, of course they do, yeah. And then you're getting in an arena that's full. You know, I think there were 15,000 there, and you're boxing on a show that's being televised live around the world.
And loads of people, millions watching around the world.
Well, that's what I mean. So I just think, could them guys do it? Probably not. So at the end of the day, do you know what I mean? Just ignore it, and we got paid well for it, and that's what matters.
Yes.
And like I said, that's what I'm in boxing for.
And of course, the upcoming fight with Joe. What are the ticket prices? And yeah.
So I think tickets. So you've got there's 3 ticket tiers for this. You've got like £40 tickets, which are your standard ones. And then you've got table tickets, which are £60 for tables, and then you've got VIP tickets, which are £80, where you get ringside tables, etc. You know, your food thrown in and things like that. So I think there's 7 or 8 pro fights on bill, and a friend of mine, Jimmy First, he's having his farewell fight.
Oh yeah, Jimmy.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think what is he, 42, 43, and
Former
you know,
Central Area champion, and he won on
just,
Sky, boxed on Sky
yeah,
twice. You know.
he just boxed for English title as well.
Mm,
So yeah, he's had a great career as Jimmy.
yeah,
So yeah, be a good send off for him.
that is good. It'll be a good night of boxing, won't it?
It will, yeah. I mean, looking forward to it, to be honest with you now. Back into it now, sparring and stuff, and you know, still feel fit from my last fight. You know, even though I've had a few weeks off over Christmas, I think I needed it, to be honest with you, because you can burn yourself out. So I've come back into the gym, and that base fitness is still there, really.
Do you
So
think do you feel like you're gonna knock your opponent out, or the usual saying, if the knockout's there, it's just a bonus?
to be honest with you, if the knockout, I just want to win the fight. You know what I mean? But I do want to put a performance on, to be honest with you, and that's the when you're in heavyweight, they don't care what people say. You've got to be stopping people. That's what people are paying the money to see. Basically, you do have to be stopping guys, and that is the aim. You know, and like I said, there's no disrespect to Joe or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? He's got me full respect as a fighter, and I'll respect anybody. But you know, I've got a job to do on the night, and I won't go looking for it. I'm not going to go stupid. But me and my trainer have been working on some things that hopefully we're putting into practice, and on the night it comes off. And yeah, like I say, I would have liked the fight to be in a 6-rounder, to be honest with you. That's what
Yeah.
I did ask for. But yeah, I think the whole show is going to be 4-rounders by the looks of it. So it is what it is. I'm not too keen on 4-rounders, to be honest with you. So I prefer the 6. You know, you can bet
Mm.
into them. But like I say, I've just got a job to do. I'm feeling confident, feeling sharp. So yeah, I'm just itching to fight now.
hmm And so you've got like you say you've got a fight in mind after this one. I know you can't
Yeah,
announce it, but would it be like a TV fight? Of course, you see some good domestic fighters. Of course, Moses. You've got TKV, Matty Harris, uh,
yeah.
the likes of those sort of people.
Well, I won't say who it is, but you just mentioned one of them.
They're,
So
they're they're all good fights. So whoever it is,
yeah.
it'll be a
Well,
good fight.
that's the thing. I mean, you've got Jamie, who's signed with Sky, coming off a loss. You've got a similar record to myself. Matty Harris, again,
He's
similar
coming off a
record.
defeat, I think.
He's coming. I don't know if Matty Harris is. I know he fights on Sky quite a bit. I don't know if he's signed with Sky
No,
though.
I do believe he signed with Wasserman, I think.
Oh yeah, it might be. Yeah, the German promotions. Yeah, I think you're right there. Yeah, he is. So yeah, you've got Jamie TVK who's with Sky. You've got Moses who's with BT. But
You see he's on the Saudi card, I think.
he is. I think Moses just fought a guy recently who Tom Carty boxed two fights ago. The fight before he boxed Jay McFarland. I think the guy went 4 rounds with Tom. I think that Moses put him away in a round. But to be honest with you, he does look special, to be fair. Does Moses. So I think he'll be going all the way, that kid, if he keeps progressing like he is anyway.
Mm. What can fans expect from you, like on your fight on the third of Feb? Yeah.
3rd of Feb, yeah.
And then
Well,
yeah.
like I say, I mean, I really am looking. Obviously, the most important thing is to get the win, but I really am looking now, to put a performance on and make a statement. Really now, to be honest with you, and really kick on. I want to get that opportunity now on TV again, and like I say, I know I can look after myself in there. So I know I can. After that, obviously, I'd never been at that kind of level with somebody like Tom Carty before.
That your credibility though after that from the back end of that fight is your stock's gone up.
Well, of course it has, yeah, exactly. Like you say, went 8 rounds with him. I know he stopped me, but I still feel like I shouldn't have been stopped. But
Mm.
I said, Tom, like I said, to be fair, afterwards I went to see him in his change room and we had a good chat. And obviously we had a bit of two in and throwing. And before the fight, I thought he was a bit arrogant, to be fair, and full of himself. And but you know, when you meet someone after you've fought, you know, and the dust has settled, basically, he was a nice guy, to be fair. And you know, he sent me a message saying, you know, credit to yourself tonight. You know, he said you made me ask myself a few questions that I've not had to ask myself before, basically. And we spoke a little bit after the fight as well, over Christmas and stuff like that. You know, just about upcoming fights, things that he's got in pipeline, things that I've got in the pipeline, and or even on about going over to Dublin. My mum's family obviously are from over in Ireland, so I was going to go over maybe and do some sparring at some point with him. We had a little chat about that. So yeah, he was a decent guy, to be fair.
Good stuff. And yes, before I let you go, do you want to thank, whether that's manager, trainers, sponsors, just anyone who's helping you on your boxing journey at the minute?
Yeah, I mean, I've got obviously thank my trainer Andy. You know, he's there in gym with me more or less every day. You know, he's taking a lot of time off himself to put the effort into me. Obviously, my manager Glenn Banks, who's getting me the fights, etc. But obviously, you've got to thank the people who are buying these tickets on these kind of shows, because if they weren't buying these tickets, they wouldn't be able to do it. Basically, people don't realise you rely on these ticket sales on these the small hall shows, should we call it. And it's a job in itself, selling tickets. And this is the part I hate about boxing, to be honest with you. When you're fighting on these big shows, you know, you don't have to worry about these ticket sales. You know, you guarantee that a certain, whatever they're paying you, you guarantee that. And if you sell any tickets, you're getting commission on that as well, basically. So it's a win-win situation on the big shows. But like I say, these small old shows, it's just, for me, it's just, they're there to keep me active, basically. Do you know what I mean? Keep the ball moving. Hopefully we get that record up now at 6-2, and then we get another opportunity, and then hopefully we take it.
And from me, Dan, thank you for your time, and keep up the good work, and all the best on Feb 3rd.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll speak after. But yeah, thanks for your time, Sam.
Anytime. Thank you, Dan.
Cheers, bud.
Bye, mate.